1, 2. Okay.
Hey!
Hey!
Welcome to Your Fucked Up Relationship, the podcast.
Oh, wait, do I need to do intro credits?
Yeah, did Shy not speak before I'm introduced or something?
Ooh.
Yeah,
You
are
never
we?
talk.
Okay, we'll go silent. Sorry.
Never talk. Pretend you weren't here.
Okay.
This all stays in, by the way.
Okay.
No,
Here we go.
it's not working on the vertical.
Well, it's not on the horizontal
I'm just
either.
going to go. I'm just going to forget about it. Forget
Welcome
about
back.
it.
Hey!
Hey, welcome.
Hey,
Everything's
this is
working.
great material.
So good.
Yeah, there are no technical difficulties.
This is our 100th episode.
Pausing,
No. What are we at? 6?
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
I'm
And
Dylan.
Still unreleased.
I'm John.
Who are you?
I'm Behnam.
And I'm Chris.
Thanks for being
Welcome.
here.
Thank
Behnam, you're our second return
Yes.
person.
Yes.
We had
After-
Scott on twice, I think.
We've had Scott
officially.
on twice, and Scott will be on later today.
Oh, okay.
Special guest drop in.
Gosh.
Wow,
yeah.
first hat trick today for
Mhm.
Scott.
Well,
And Chris,
He's going to be really proud.
first time
Oh,
here.
First time here, yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me. I guess like other people got invited before, so I guess a little bit of an
Yeah.
afterthought.
Well, no. Well, you have to understand. I was a backup. I was called at like 11 a.m. Like
I was naked in the shower,
Yes.
and I thought about Behnam, which is not unlikely
No.
or
Yeah.
not
Well, we all do
unusual.
that.
Not
But-
unusual.
Here's the thing. He didn't open with "Hello, how
No,
are you?"
I never
He opened with "I'm in the shower and I'm naked," or "I just got out of the shower and
Yes.
I'm naked." I'm like,
That's very
information I did not need.
Yep.
Let's
Mhm.
continue with the conversation.
The other day, Behnam was waiting for my house because he's 40 minutes early to everything,
Yes.
and I was out eating, and he's like, "Hey, I'm at your house. Let me in." And I just sent him back a picture of my finger in somebody's mouth, and I said, "Sorry, I can't. I'm hard."
Yeah. Yes.
It's very good.
And Dylan sent that text to a lot of people.
This
Yes.
is true. I went to a mass work
He
text.
sent it to me, and I didn't respond.
Yeah.
I did send it to you.
You did.
You
Did you
fucker.
really?
Why didn't you
Oh my
respond?
God.
I was busy.
I didn't even send him the picture. I sent him a snapshot of our conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, of our conversation.
Yeah, because your follow up was really fun too, which was
to run around and redistribute the blood flow.
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Do you usually send unsolicited finger pics?
Yeah, because you can't get in trouble for them. It will be canceled soon, but not yet.
I think you can do things with your fingers that are currently cancelable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There is
we're here to
definitely
show you. Yeah. So this is Your Fucked Up Relationship, the podcast. It is based off of a show that we have here in the Mission District of San Francisco,
That's right.
where we interview people off the streets, and we say,
Yeah.
"Hey, actually, why don't you tell? You've been doing this show for how long?
For 13 years. I was in the first ever
You were in the
show.
first ever show.
Wow.
Chris was a
OG.
founder,
Get-
right?
Get
Yeah.
that mic up into your mouth.
Oh, okay. Let me get this. Is
Oh,
this
yeah.
too close? Should I send this picture to people?
Yeah.
Just make sure your fingers aren't in the camera.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you were in the very first one. Are you
Well, he
serious?
was a
Yeah.
founder too.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So, the original show was going to be a show called Two Truths and a Lie, and I can't even remember what that one was going to be like.
Okay.
But then we had an email thread of like what we should do, what we should,
Who's we?
how we should get
Who's we?
people in. So this was me. This was Peter Kim, the main founder of Endgames, and Max McCall and Scott Recchia, who the team is currently named after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For people back home, not the other Scott with the beanie.
Yeah.
no, this is a different Scott. This Scott, we named the team after him so he could not come back. And
Which doesn't make sense. I would love to come back to a team where I'm on,
Yep.
where I'm named after.
you would play on a team called the Behnam.
Yeah, why not?
I want to. Okay, what would their format be?
Hey, Jack. if Jack White could do it, I mean, we could do it too.
What's the format of the Behnam?
The format of the Behnam is to just like stand there being all sad and like crying and be like, oh my god, like in this scene I'm like a sad little prince, and it's just like multiple scenes on that, and then
Solid.
and you also have like really like terrible dialogue, questionable dialogue perhaps.
Ooh.
And
Questionable is the
also really shitty space work. Basically the format is like my terrible improv. That's like the format.
Great.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I can be on the
Very
team with
excited.
the terrible space. Okay. So the email thread came to what should we do for the show, and someone's pointed out, hey, UCB does a show called Your Fucked Up Family. How about we just steal that and replace the family with a relationship? And we're like, all right, done.
which
That
is
is even
genius
more vague.
because relationship encapsulates family. So
Yeah, that is true. So this is like a subset
Yeah.
of.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
and they
Love
got
that.
mad at you, right? Didn't the fucked up family and UCB get mad at you guys?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. Like I've heard them talk badly, but then I've also heard that they don't even notice us. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where it stands.
Notice us, UCB. This is us calling you.
Like and
Look,
subscribe. Hey, UCB, will you please like and
at us.
subscribe to
Please,
us?
please
We
like
need
us,
it.
please.
Do they have a Your Fucked Up Family podcast?
Ooh.
We didn't look.
Oh, no. You
We
guys
should
should've
look for
done
the Spotify.
Should have done your
name.
research.
Yeah.
But I think they now have a You're Fucked Up relationship because I followed
No.
like or maybe not them, maybe IO.
Well-
I followed the IO page.
Peter Kim, the aforementioned Peter Kim, did bring it down to LA. So
okay.
But it
I
was
don't
his
know
to
how
bring.
that goes.
I-
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was
Control
his to
that.
bring. I mean, he did rip it off fair and square. So
Mm.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they're not ripping off the Behnam. That's ours.
No,
And that's how many
invented
years
right
ago
here
is
now.
this?
this was 2011. I think we did our
Mhm.
first show somewhere spring of 2011.
And the format's changed a ton. This comedy show has not looked the same since it started.
Kind of. We try different things and then we chuck it.
Okay,
But,
okay.
yeah, first ever show was just we interviewed someone about their fucked up relationship and we did the show off the details almost exactly like it's done right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Wow.
you used to bring the person on stage to interview them.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. And then COVID sort of was like, no.
And then we never went back. I mean, I don't know if COVID's over or not or not. Like I ask people about this and no one has a steady answer.
Yeah.
Mm, I have it
do you
right
ever,
now.
Do you ever blame yourself? Because 2011, Halcyon Days seemed like nice. We look back on nostalgia with those days right now.
Mhm.
The world has gotten so much worse since then, it feels
Mhm.
like.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you think it was the fault of the improv team you
Yeah.
founded in San Francisco?
I'll give ourselves like about 70% of the blame for things getting worse.
That's reasonable.
It's there's various other factors, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely the You're Fucked Up relationship show. It just made everybody cynical and
Yeah.
things spiraled.
Are you surprised that this team's been around for so long?
Yeah, like when I look back at how long it's been, it's kind of surprising that it survived through this. Not very many members from the old days. I think Max is now the solo member. But yeah, has he been on the show yet?
No.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good. I got on there before him. Good.
Yeah,
that was
Take
important
Max.
to us.
You
Chris
win.
has to be here first. Yeah.
What I also love is that there's a portion of the show where you guys say don't say anything, don't yell out anything, right? And I heard that's because someone actually came on stage and started to try to be a part of the scene,
What?
right?
Oh, yeah. So there's a player that was on our team that's now works at Sony Animation. Shout out to Guillermo. But he was on the team and someone walked onto the stage and then touched his shoulder and then loudly said, "Sorry, go into the bathroom." And Guillermo, probably the sweetest person I've ever met, scared that guy so bad that when he walked out, he had to look just like he's seen a ghost when he
When
walked
you
out
say
of there.
scared, what do you mean? What happened?
I know Guillermo went to go have a one-on-one talk with him where the words were something like never do that again. But Guillermo's a big guy
Okay.
and
Bit intimidating.
intimidating. Again, sweetest guy. I've never seen Guillermo be anything less than the sweetest person ever. But if he wanted to be scary, that guy seems like he could be.
So it's like if somebody was in the middle of a play and then I walked up to one of the actors on stage and say, "Hey, I need to use the restroom, just let you know." And then I went and used the restroom.
Yeah.
That's
it'd be
insanity.
just like that. But I think there's a vibe with improv where it's the fact oh, they're making it up on the spot. I think some people think they're helping
Yeah.
when they become part of the show
Was this
too.
in San Francisco when it happened?
This was, yeah.
Was he
Yeah, because this used to be a 10:30 p.m. show. It was theoretically BYOB. I don't know if we're allowed to say that or not, but
statute of limitations? I
yeah,
think it's
yeah, we're good. But most of our audience was completely shit-faced.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I also love is sorry, I just like whenever we're talking about like the history of this stuff, it just makes me so excited. What I also love is that I heard you guys would stand outside the show and ask people to give like donations in a bucket, and then I heard like Max would just had like a bucket full of cash in his apartment. That's all the money you guys accumulated. Like you didn't have like a formal like bank like account or anything set up. It was just a bucket.
You're comedy busking.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, we basically were. We made more money than typically than from the paid shows because of that, because people were pretty generous, and that would go in. It would get us like a beer before the show, so it's pretty nice. Also, in the early days, before we had any sort of audience and we were located close to Union Square, we would go and flyer for like about an hour or so before the show, just so we can get some audience members into
Why
the
so
show.
far away to Union Square?
Yeah, we were up above where Ruby Sky used to be, which I think is just does not exist anymore.
Not not the theater. The theater.
Not the theater.
Okay,
Well, the theater. Yeah, the theater was
there.
above
Okay.
there, yeah.
Okay. I see. Oh, interesting.
I also heard Max say like in terms of like relationships nowadays, like he sometimes like when they interview people, don't just say relationships, they say like situationships or like just some other like terms that he just like doesn't understand anymore. Like, is that kind of the case?
Like you
nowadays?
it's been millennialized.
Like millennialized like terms. It's like, oh, it wasn't like a relationship. It was like a situationship, or like we weren't dating. Like it was like we were just hanging out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
It's complicated.
People are like, we were Netflixing and chilling, and Max is like, what?
Yeah. In Max's day, you meet a woman and you get married the next day.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Max is 64 years old.
Yes.
Belongs to the silent generation.
I don't know. I just feel like Endgames was. I keep on saying this. I feel like Endgames was just so punk rock like back then. Like 10:30 p.m. show, bucket full of cash, people coming on stage drunk and just stopping a show. I'm like, that's so cool.
Well, yeah, like we had the stereotype when we started because we were purposely like Bats was the only thing that existed. Bats is another improv theater company. Don't take classes from them. Take classes from us.
You heard it here first.
Also, everyone at Bats, and this is true, is 64 years old.
I mean, you're not far off.
Yeah. Max has to transfer there next year.
They get a lot of kickbacks from nursing homes these days. They bust in a lot of old people. to the arena.
When we were starting, we kind of distanced ourselves. We were like, okay, we're like the younger crowd, and like we had the stereotype of like, oh, okay, like this is like frat boy improv, like, and I mean, we did come onto stage holding beers and like hosting things, so we weren't that far off. But at that time, we were all like usually like late 20s, early 30s, and now we are approaching that age. We're not already. We're genuinely old. So I don't know if we can still claim that punk rock status.
Do you think there's another comedy team as old as You're Fucked Up or the Requia?
Well,
the world?
In San Francisco, sorry.
Well, at Bats, yeah.
At Bats there are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably
there's some older teams there.
Drunk Theater, right? When did Drunk Theater start?
I don't know.
They started not a few years after us, but I mean, I know a lot of the players there.
Were they in LA first or LA second?
They were here first.
Was it
As far
always
as
Crow?
I know.
LA.
Was it always Crow?
We would.
What's that?
Was it always Crow running the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Crow was the.
You should have him on the
inventor.
podcast.
I'll be improvising with
what it-
him on Friday. Come to Endgames. Come see the what's the name of that show? Bucket. Oh fuck! I wasn't supposed to tell you.
You messed up.
Whoops.
You messed up.
Whoopsies.
We have a
Forget what you heard, audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna explain it.
This will post long after it
It's
happens.
too complicated.
Yeah, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so cool just to hear like the history of like Endgames and stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like how it just like you guys just started your own like thing.
Well,
And-
the team started off just because we were only teaching classes, and we basically came to the conclusion that, oh, well, we should actually perform in some sort of show. So
Yeah.
it was just 5 dudes when we started. And then someone brought up, hey, maybe we should have a woman on the team. And then, does anybody
Yeah.
know any women? Okay, let's put our heads together and like.
For people who don't know anything about improv in the mid to late 2000s, that happened a lot.
Yeah,
There was
that
like a
pretty
Ouija
common.
board where you had to like get the name of a woman.
Yeah.
It was
Who was the first
ratio
female?
was terrible. Yeah. So we asked some solid improvisers that we knew, and none of them could do it. And we were teaching a level 1 class, and there was a woman in that class who was very good, and we just were like, well, should we ask her to be on the team? I know she's in a level 1 class, but
Wow.
and we did, and she was great. It worked out well.
Does this person have a name?
Yes, it is.
roll.
It is Katie McCarty, who still does
Oh.
improv and is fantastic.
Wow.
So shout out to Katie if you're listening to this.
Also, I mean, you guys had no training when you started it, right? Or did you have training from Bats?
We had training. So I did it at Bats, and then I met Peter at a place called the Comedy College, where we both got kind of fired from. And we had put on a show called Endgames beforehand, and we were just decided, okay, well, we want to teach classes still. We'll do this. We're doing like a drop-in workshop, and we'll just call it Endgames.
Are they still around the comedy college? Because that sounds like something that wouldn't have survived COVID.
No, it did not survive Endgames being around. The improv department, I know they still do stand-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were in a collective group of sorts, you might say.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, they at least birthed what became Endgames.
Interesting.
And the last fun fact. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is a podcast about
About relationships.
This is just me.
This
It's
is
just like
Dylan's- this
just-
is Behnam's podcast.
just cut all of this out if you want.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say I heard, and this might be wrong.
Start
the
your
reason
own
why you
goddamn
called
podcast.
it what? Yeah, this is my podcast. I took it over. I heard the reason why I called it Endgames is because Endgames is like a endgame is a term in chess, and like a lot of people start off in improv and then go to different forms of comedy like sketch or stand up or whatever. But now it's like, no, improv's the ultimate form of comedy.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of like retconning back into it. I think eventually it became, oh, this works for that. But
Yeah.
like the original reason it was called that was just because the tournament was, it was a tournament that we were putting on, and like there was going to be one winner, and it did have the chess implications for sure. But
I've always wanted to know why choose the pawn
Yeah.
as the logo. There are a lot of other chess pieces that are more powerful.
They've
If you're
done a
going, if you're
knight.
going to try to retcon it as a chess story, a knight. Get that horse's head in there.
Yeah.
Very cool. A
Oh,
queen
a
even.
bishop,
Very
yeah.
powerful.
oh, well, it's because we're saying anyone who takes our classes are just a bunch of pawns that
Yeah.
are going through the system.
It's a Ponzi scheme, you might
Oh.
say. Yeah.
I do think one of the original logo designs was a pawn, but the shadow was, I think, a queen.
Whoa.
Which was
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You have
yeah,
to
it
really,
was pretty fun.
Like
you have
that.
to really know about chess, I feel like, to
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
better if the shadow was Darth Vader. Anybody know what poster I'm referring to?
There are a lot of Darth Vader
The
posters.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
one?
thank you. You got it.
Is that
Evan's
Darth
got it.
Vader though? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
where's
yeah,
the
yeah.
shadow?
Anakin,
Okay, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really
That could have
missed
worked.
your chance
I don't
there,
know.
Chris.
Do queens look different from one another? They're kind of like tall and they have like a
Yeah.
collar.
Well, I thought
Sorta
this
like
was.
this.
I thought this was a queen. I thought the logo was a queen. I didn't know it was a pawn. I thought. It
I
was
think pawns
this.
have the
pawn.
bulb on top.
Hold on, maybe it is a queen. Look at the pawn is in the video.
No,
that
but
we're
pawns
making
don't
right
have
now.
like the little like whatever crown thing at the top.
Oh, maybe it is a queen then.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It
sure.
could
it's a queen.
be. I mean, the queen does have a little nipple too.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I'm wrong.
I feel I should know this.
And last
You
fun
just-
fact,
you-
and then
yeah.
I'll shut up.
Sure you will.
Outside of the theater where you guys used to perform at Stageworks, there is a
That's different.
graffitied logo of Endgames on the ground, and it's
Yeah.
still there.
Whoa.
Oh, I did not know it was still there. I
Yeah.
haven't been checked there for a while, but
I go there every once in a while just to make sure it's there, because I'm like, we are not losing this.
I wonder though, now that we put it out in the world, if Eclectic Box will know and
Oh,
then they'll
shit.
erase it.
Oh
Mm.
shit!
You ruined it.
I will
Behnam.
bring it back.
We're
Yeah.
Streisand affected.
come back with some spray paint
and a
take it
stencil.
out.
Yeah. That's great. This is the Your Fucked Up Relationship podcast where we interview people and ask them about fucked up relationships they've had in the past. Behnam, pretty fucked up relationship that you shared with
So
us the last time.
fucked
So
up.
fucked.
up.
It was so
sorry.
fucked.
I'm such a bad person.
And
Such a just
such a
I
what
gotta enormous fuckboy.
What a
Yeah.
fuckboy.
Potential. You were a fuckboy. You
I'm-
act like a fuckboy.
You are a
All
fuckboy.
the friends you keep
You're
are all fuckboys.
Still a fuckboy.
I'm
Wow.
honestly surprised you guys brought me back and didn't just like shun me from society and just like put up posters around.
Because the episode hasn't
mission.
come out yet, so nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
Can we have the Cliff Notes version, like the previously on the Your Fucked Up Relationship?
Oh yeah. Roll the
yeah.
clip.
Karen, I don't like you, Karen. All right.
Behnam shared a story with us.
Yes, where he went to Greece and didn't make a
Yes.
move.
Yes, I
Yeah.
went to Greece. I went to Santorini, Greece with someone, and I did not make a move. And that was like essentially the story. I feel like I'm not doing a good TLDR.
No, that's
of
pretty.
it.
That's pretty
That's
TLDR.
exactly what
exactly
happened.
what happened. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
really
yeah.
nothing else to read into.
And then we just called him a fuckboy for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we call him a fuckboy because his friend called him a fuckboy
Yeah.
for that whole story, and it's just like the least. It's the furthest thing on the spectrum of fuck to boy.
But now we brought a true,
Yes.
true fuckboy.
Legit.
That's right. Behnam,
Just to
listen
show
up,
Behnam what's
because
what.
You could learn a
I'm
thing.
gonna learn from the master.
I mean, how bad have the stories gotten? Like, I'm a little bit worried. I don't want the worst one.
We had one where somebody like pissed in their pants on like in the middle of a date.
Oh, that's good.
That was good. It was very fun. Sarah B, shout out. Thank you for that story. I don't know if there's any. The last episode was very interesting. We had some.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
a lot of like travel drama.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, if yours is the worst one, then some might say that would be the best one.
Well,
Yeah.
then that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both are equally scary. I just want mine to be
Scary.
I want mine to be the least memorable. I want this to go through and be like, what was Chris's story? I can't remember. It wasn't that good.
Lay it on us. If you have
Yeah,
multiple,
all right.
you're welcome to.
I have two. I have like a sweet one from when I was like 16.
Oh,
and
a
then,
sweet 16 story. Everybody loves that.
Oh, yeah, right. And then like a little more, I guess, juicy one from when I was much older.
You
I
want
don't
to start sweet and then go?
Start sweet. If we have time, we'll go to juicy.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
How long? By the way, how long is the call-in segment?
Just 3 minutes.
That's plenty of time.
All right. How,
Take
how
it
does
away.
This work? Do I just start?
Chris,
telling the
tell us your
story?
story. Tell us your story.
Let's hear it.
All right. So I was, as mentioned, 16, and I this is a little bit important, but I was a goth teenager.
Not much has changed. You
You
still have bangs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still have bangs, and I'm naturally blonde, so there's still a piece in me
Yeah.
that goes that direction.
And just to be clear, this is distinctly goth, not emo.
No, this was before emo. So
Oh.
emos are a bunch of posers. And if you're out there listening to My Chemical Romance right now,
and not The Cure.
and not the
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was listening to.
Yeah.
figured.
That's real goth. Well, when I was in high school, emo was really popular, but everybody called themselves goth.
Yeah.
And it was a mislabeling thing.
Yeah.
I missed the whole boat on that. So when people ever go to like emo night or whenever there's like a bunch of bands that are like emo bands at a festival and people just go crazy, I cannot relate to it at all. And I just feel like so out of the loop.
I think you might like actual goth stuff.
Oh no, I love
think
the
you might
Cure.
like The
Actually,
Cure.
I
I
think
think
I
that might
love The
appeal to you
Cure.
for a variety.
I
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
a He Is Legend show a few weekends ago, and that's Scene, like emo scene kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a weird group of adults.
Is there an equivalent? Because I figure it's not emo anymore. There's like something new that is
I don't know.
swallowed the
I
dark
guess,
I don't
subculture.
think we would know if it's really
Yeah.
What is it? It's
popular
like
among young people.
not trip hop.
Yeah, because
Mumble-
hyper pop.
Mumble
Shoegaze
rap.
Mumble's over
It's
with.
always been kind of a thing, right?
mumble
That's not
is
new, right?
yeah, but that goes back to like 80s. That would
Yeah.
be like My Bloody Valentine is kind of
Yeah. I think it's like mumblecore, mumble rap is like kind of what like Juice World is what the equivalent is.
Okay.
Chris
All
is
right,
like,
I'll
I don't know what the
listen
hell you're
Venom,
saying.
I do think you're the youngest person here, so you are the
Am I?
Yeah, wait, de facto,
translator for
yeah,
all of that
yeah.
culture.
Yes.
Everyone here looks young though, so
Yeah,
it's
we look
very
hot. We
misleading.
look hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
hot podcast.
Yeah, we prefer to use the word hot, not young.
This is a hot pot.
This is a shame to even go in the audio medium with this. Like, I think those people are gonna like watch this, turn off the volume, and be like, "Oh yeah."
That's what the cameras are for. They're here to capture our extreme hotness at all times.
So you're 16. You're a hot goth kid.
You're
Hot
hot,
goth
you're
kid.
goth.
Oh, I definitely was not a hot goth kid. Almost everyone would argue against that statement. But I was listening to The Cure, and that's actually very relevant to the story.
Okay.
Because now I'm gonna really date myself. Speaking of being old, this was on AOL, and did an AOL search for. I put in the keywords female, single, and which you could select. You could select status. You could select. Gender, and you can select a keyword. And because I was listening to The Cure, I put in keyword The Cure.
Yes.
And some results came up, but one caught my attention. Her screen name was well, she doesn't use this anymore. Cure Me Now, and so I started a AIM conversation with her.
It wasn't the Cure Me Now. It was Cure Me Now.
It was just Cure Me Now.
Because I feel like there might be a couple of ways to interpret that.
Wait a minute, this is blowing my mind. So you were able to just search up random people back then, like on
the instant messenger, you could look up people with different keywords.
With just different keywords, and like because everyone was on AOL then, like just everybody who had those perimeters would come up.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then you just start a conversation with a random person.
Yeah, you could just start a conversation with a random person. Pictures, like people didn't really have pictures of themselves.
You say ASL.
Have you ever seen?
I know that.
Have you guys ever seen Pin 15?
No.
It's very much about that time period subculture.
I heard about this show.
Awkward middle schoolers on AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, this is pre-Hinge, pre-Tinder.
Wow. Yeah, the original.
Plenty of fish.
Yeah,
Plenty of
catfishing.
Yeah, this was back.
We were
back
all
before that was a
talking to
term.
old men our age now.
Wow, that really puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
Been through a lot.
Yeah.
So we started talking, and like you would have like a list of people that you would talk to, and I think our first conversation was just like, we both like the same taste in music and where we're at, and so she was on my buddy list, and we would just kind of have a conversation every time I would see her on there. I think I showed her I think I had a couple pictures of me on there, which I sent her, but she did not have any. And
suspicious.
Yeah.
Red flag number 1.
Red flag number 1. Well, this was.
Shall we count them?
1998. You had to get a picture online, you had to know somebody who had a scanner and have a picture of yourself to put it on there, which was like kind of like almost like a fax machine that would just send it to there. So you had to have connections to get a picture online.
You had to go to the black market.
Yeah. You had to know a guy, be like, oh yeah, I got a picture guy to really develop your photos.
Yeah. You had to like go to some weird street corner, like put this on my AIM.
Yeah.
Were you in the Bay Area at that time? I feel like.
Oh yeah, I was in the Bay Area at the time.
Sort of like tech savvy place.
Yeah.
Do people have scanners?
I had a friend who had a scanner, and the picture was of both of us that he put on there because we were in like a make believe band at the time. So
did you like cross out his face before you sent it just to be like, this is me and not the other guy?
He just said, I'm the hot one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was able to do it with language indicating which one.
Well, just in case if she like fell in love with the other guy, you don't want that to happen.
Like, oh no, Tony, like she's.
I would like to take a step back and talk about this make-believe band really quick.
Right.
That's a phrase I have never heard in my whole life.
So it was all air drums and air guitar.
That's right.
So it was me and another guy who were just like, we wanted to be in a band, so we said we're in a band, and then never took other action aside from taking a picture of ourselves.
I mean, a band is kind of a
band
collection
photo
of people.
first.
Yeah, band photo.
Yes.
Make the poster.
That's so good.
I mean, a band is like just a collection of people, right? It's just a group of friends. You don't have to
true.
do anything. You can have bands of roving people on, on the meadow.
Yeah,
that
that
counts.
is true. Like we came up with ideas for song titles, so
Yeah.
like it was
You're basically a band.
basically a band.
We had a whole album. We had a 3-disc album.
Yeah.
And album artwork.
Yeah, we had
No
so many
songs. No
concepts.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We never wrote a thing.
We knew what we were gonna do for like our shows, like, but
Wouldn't it be cool if there was
Yeah.
fire? Yeah.
so we started talking a little bit more, and it came to the point where we decided, hey, what if we had a phone conversation? And the only ways to do this back then was because I had to use like my parents' phone. Like one of them was like a rotary phone where you'd have to like turn the dials.
Yeah.
And she lived in Southern California, which is about like 10 hours south in San Bernardino. And I knew this was gonna be like a giant phone bill. Like kids out there.
That's where I grew up.
Someone,
Actually, I think I might have been talking to you.
do you think?
Is this the reunion?
This reunion. Yeah.
Was it at the time where, like, when you were on the internet, you couldn't use the phone?
Yes, it was
Oh,
exactly at
God.
that time. Like if you got a phone call, it'd kick you
Kick you off,
offline.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you picked up the phone at that time, you would just hear like the
Remember when you could pick up another line and hear in conversations?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
yeah, that was you
Sure.
could have a bunch of people on at once. You could have a conference call within your own house. So I had to go and buy a calling card from 7-Eleven and go call her on that, and then like enter the calling card number on the rotary phone. It took me like half an hour to give her a call with all these steps I had to do, and we had a conversation. It went really, really well.
Wait, were your parents like out of the house, or like did they know this was gonna
This was
happen?
late at night, so they were
Okay.
already in bed at
Gotcha,
this point.
gotcha.
I know we've brushed on this, but I'm going to have to know what the ASL was.
Oh, okay.
At the
So,
time.
so
Of the other
18,
party.
18
Yeah.
female San Bernardino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I get in the right order? Yeah.
I think
Age,
yeah,
sex,
right,
right,
right.
Yeah. So we had a really long conversation, and I think maybe our second or third conversation, still not knowing what she looks like or anything, told her that I loved her because I was a very passionate 16-year-old.
Hold on, what was your ASL? I gotta know the specifics here.
Oh, okay. Mine, 16, male, San Bruno, California.
San
Oh.
Bruno.
Did you like when you heard her voice? Did it like, were you like surprised by it? Like, did it like how did it register? to you?
Yeah, oh, like I wasn't that.
Is that a weird question? Like you're laughing like it's a weird question.
We
It's
just
just
know. We just know you're such a like lovebird romantic.
Yeah. What?
So in my head, when you heard her voice, is that when you knew?
I feel like it's a fair question. God damn.
Yeah.
No comment.
I mean, yeah. I mean, kind of like I think I was definitely in that like smitten about her, where just like her voice was just like, oh, she sounds even better than I thought she was
Oh
gonna
my
sound.
God. So cute.
Why are you blushing? This is really
This
weird.
is so relatable.
This is great.
Benham's romantic life is Chris Blair's 16-year-old life.
Yeah.
Do not give Behnam this person's number.
I will fall in love
He
with
will convert.
And like I had a like imagination of what she looked like. but that
Benham
was
shows
as
up
far as I
tomorrow in all goth.
Yeah. I'm ready for
yeah,
like just blasting The Cure. Like,
yeah.
like why is someone playing Friday I'm in Love in this place?
Sorry, cut you off.
So like I mean I had an idea, like I thought like, but I just kind of like had a like from teen movies and stuff, like I knew she was Latina and I knew that like and I think that's the only detail that she gave me, and she had brown hair. So like because of watching like John Hughes movies and stuff growing up, I just imagined like a Latina Molly Ringwald in my head. And that was
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
It's a mole, el mole Ringwald.
So I like finally like through snail mail, because we started writing each other like letters too, like real legit letter. I know this is kind of the best.
Wait, you had her address at this point?
Oh yeah, we exchanged addresses.
Oh my
Benham is
gosh.
squirting in his pants.
Calm down.
You don't know him well, but he is a romantic.
This is why my
Through and
leg's
through.
getting warm right now. Okay.
This is a hot
Sorry,
pod.
guys, sorry.
It's a hot pod.
Yeah, it's gonna
hot
get
pod.
So I finally got to see her. She sent me like some photographs of herself, some like real legit
Oh.
photographs.
What? Describe the photographs.
Yeah.
So one of them was like a graduation photograph, like from graduation night, and she had one in her prom dress that she sent me.
Nice.
I have a question. Did she not like? Did she question the fact that she was 18 and you were 16?
Yeah, there was a little bit of that. She like asked me like, "Is this okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay."
Of course it's okay. Why wouldn't it?
I think, Behnam, I think in previous centuries, standards were slightly.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
And we did the whole math thing. It's like, well, we're within 2 years.
Yeah, sure.
So it's on the up and up.
Yeah.
But does she look like Mole Ringwald?
No, but she was very cute and just phenomenal smile. So like, okay, this is cool. Now I have like a visual image, but it's almost a shock because it's like reading a book and then seeing the movie, and you have like these preconceived notions, and then you say, that's a different casting decision than I made, and I had.
You're like, oh, the director really went a different direction than I thought.
I had the biggest reaction when I saw Daniel Radcliffe. That's not who I was picturing.
What?
Huh?
What did you say?
Is it Daniel Radcliffe? Who plays?
No. Yes,
Harry
but
Potter.
what was the sentence before that?
I don't know. I don't
You
remember.
had
I
the
think I heard
biggest.
that correctly.
I don't remember.
I believe the word he said was erection.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
We'll play it back when we edit
Yeah,
this.
And you
we'll
mean
make
you
sure.
stood up tall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
My
Although
spine.
I
is
love
right.
Daniel Radcliffe. I will say though, his eyes were supposed to be green. They were blue. Anyway, I'll stop at that.
He could have worn contacts. They had that.
Well, they
technology back
tried.
then.
They
Behnam.
tried to do the contacts, but
His eyes are just too small and squinty.
I guess so.
Why do you have to be so controversial? Now we have to cut that out of the podcast.
That's fine. Please
Motherfucker.
do.
We can't have all the Daniel Radcliffe stands coming in and down.
No, they would hurt
Is
me.
there any better casting though than for Snape?
Oh,
Alan
yeah, real
Rickman.
good.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that is
amazing.
perfect casting.
Yes.
Kudos.
So this picture thing, was it a quid
You
pro
only like him
quo?
because he's basically emo. He's a goth
Ooh,
boy.
He's
that's
the
true.
cure.
He's the cure of the
Oh
movie.
my God.
Yeah.
This actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's really
You
goth.
identify with Snape.
Alan Rickman is pretty goth.
Yeah.
Was this picture thing a quid pro quo? Did you also send her a picture at the same time?
Yeah, I think I sent her more of me. I mean, she already had
More?
some of me.
A 16-year-old dick pic? What do you mean?
Well, he's got all these band pics lying around.
Yeah.
I had to go have Kodak develop it.
Can I ask, like, in the letters, what would you guys write to each other?
Did you bring one today?
Oh, I really should have.
Yeah.
I think they still exist somewhere because I definitely didn't throw them out.
Yeah, that's so cute.
There were stickers in there. I do remember we both put like lots of stickers that we had in
Okay.
our letters.
I'm very sorry to interrupt again. I know you're moving an inch at a time at this story, but it's so good. Can we get a recording of you reading it for a future episode, and we'll play it back?
I'm gonna have to ask my mom to if she has
For permission.
Like, the old I'm gonna have to- Mom, I'm doing a podcast. Can I read one of the old letters? I'm like, well, have you cleaned your room?
She has it somewhere at her house.
Yeah, I
yeah.
kind of wonder if she did, if she found them, what she thought of them. Well, that's gonna go into a later part because she's gonna become a little part of the story later on. But I do remember very specifically. She put on lipstick and kissed one of the letters.
Yeah.
which was,
Whoa.
which was the
Hot.
best. That was
So
so
hot.
hot. And I definitely kissed the lipstick mark where she kissed.
Oh my God.
Behnam, are you okay? Are you doing
I'm
okay?
doing okay. I'm doing fantastic.
Juicy
We'll
Latina
get
lips.
You, get your glass of water.
Sorry.
I'm so happy right now.
All right, so you kiss the lips. What next?
So, we were already telling each other we loved each other. We were there.
After he kissed it, you just see a black makeup drip onto the fucking.
He was like
This is the first time as a
eyeliner
goth that I've
teardrop.
cried.
Yeah. You should see a goth teardrop hit the paper.
You broke my dark shell.
Sorry, I needed to say it.
Well, I mean, I did smile, so that was
your
a
first
big-
time.
that was the
16
first
years.
time. I was like, what is this that's happening to my lips right now?
Well, a lot of fans of The Cure have that problem. They don't smile.
So we got to the point where I decided we're going to have to meet each other.
Wow.
So we talked about like, okay, what's the plan? Should we tell our parents we're gonna meet each other. She was like, definitely not. Mine are not gonna be okay with this. And I figured mine were gonna be not okay. And even if they did, they were gonna call hers. So knew we couldn't tell my parents. So the plan was for me to go make up a lie that I was gonna be staying at my friend's uncle's house for like a couple days. And then I went and bought a Greyhound bus ticket to go see her. And we were so invested in making this lie believable because we're like, okay, we got to make this super believable. We were saying that we were filming a short little film at my friend's uncle's house. And we went as far to write a script for that and rehearse it inside the house.
So,
my God.
did you actually have like a friend's uncle down there?
No, I did not. And by the way, we just said the friend's uncle was closer. I think we were like Monterey or something
Okay,
like that.
and
Did
your
you
parents
film it?
didn't.
No, that would be the next step over.
Oh God, we need to.
But your parents
Oh.
didn't like try to figure out like, is this a real person? This friend's uncle thing.
Well, they did. And
Oh.
so I had to get a friend who was a couple years older to go play the uncle on a phone call. to
Oh
my
my
parents.
Okay, that was
God.
gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody with
So
one of those
deep.
phone cards. Did you have a friend do a voice on a payphone?
Yeah, and he wasn't that convincing either. Like I
Oh my
realized, like,
God.
because I kind of like made him practice
Yeah.
before. Like, okay, my parents right now
Yeah.
are talking to me, and he was just terrible.
Yeah,
at
was he
doing
just like,
this.
oh, sorry, you just caught me in the middle of drinking a beer and watching football?
yeah.
Was this also a 16-year-old?
He was probably about 18 too. I know he was like a year or two older than.
That's good.
than
That's
us.
uncle material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's young uncle.
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 And you have this script somewhere.
This probably not anymore.
Okay, all right.
This probably got thrown out. So I got the bus tickets, and my friend took me over to the bus stop and got on the bus and went down and saw her. And
Where?
so in San Bernardino,
Mm.
we met at the bus stop. I was so nervous. I was beyond nervous. Because at this point I never really had a girlfriend before.
This is
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite. This is Kip and Napoleon Dynamite.
It's not too far.
Did you
off.
guys call each other boyfriend, girlfriend at this point?
Yeah, I think we were. I think we were
Ooh.
using those terms.
Oh.
My God.
And
They're calling each other mi amor.
Did you have like an outfit picked out as like a first
oh
impression?
yeah, I did. I remember it was this black button-up shirt and
Goth,
black
great.
jeans.
Going with the goth.
The Chris Angel aesthetic.
Yeah.
I love that.
The full Chris
Yeah,
Angel
with the
aesthetic.
eyeliner.
And I remember
Did you have a
too,
gift?
I did not have a
Okay,
gift.
okay.
I did not. Like the thing we both brought was our yearbooks because we had all these friends and everyone that we're talking about for just like for like weeks and weeks.
Here are
and,
my
like,
friends.
Yeah, so we finally got to show each other our friends.
And
up
so
until
this was
this-
just a few weeks leading up to.
It was probably about a month and a half,
Okay.
maybe 2 months
Okay.
between that.
Up until this point, you said this was 2 months.
Probably about maybe a little shy. And I do remember the day I got there, I had like acne breakout. I was like, oh no,
man.
this is the worst. This is the worst time ever. And I was like so nervous about that too. And but then the first thing I remember was when she saw me, she like squealed, and I was like, oh, okay, this is very cute.
She was into screamo.
Yeah, she's in screamo.
And then did you guys run towards each other and like just like hug each other?
I think I was trying to
Like
be
pick
cool.
her up and like twirl around, spin around.
Well, she was with a friend too, so I was like trying to be cool, but I was not being cool at
Yeah.
all. Like, and
She was with her friend.
yeah, her friend met her at the bus stop.
Okay, being safe, maybe.
That's a
Yeah.
smart thing to do.
I think
Picking up
it's a
some
smart
random
thing
person
to
from a
do.
Greyhound
Yeah.
station.
Yeah,
But probably really awkward for you.
Your boyfriend though.
Your
but-
boyfriend, but you know.
also a stranger online.
Yeah.
And we went over to her friend's house, and the phone rang, and the friend went to go answer it, and then she came back and she said to me, "Your parents are on the phone."
So quick it was discovered.
So quick. Well, there was the entire duration of the bus ride over that I guess they put the clues to this.
How okay, when I have only ridden Greyhound a couple times in my life, and it is a journey
Oh,
Yeah,
every
it
time.
was.
They make a lot of stops, and all of those stops are terrifying. How long did it take to get to San Bernardino from
At
this part of
least 10
California?
hours.
Okay.
Wow.
At least. Like,
That's a long
probably
lead
little bit
time.
more, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you leave during the day or in the middle of the night?
I left in the morning.
Okay.
So bright and early in the morning and got there probably like early evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up the phone, and wondering how they got to the bottom of my scheme here. And the first thing my dad said was, "So how's the video going?" And I said, "Oh, hi." And they said, "So we were calling your friends because there was a wrong number in the area code that the uncle gave us, and I guess my friends knew not to answer the phone when my parents were calling, but one of them's mom picked up the phone and he said, 'Hey, if Chris's parents call, tell them that I'm not here,' because they're all supposedly at this uncle's house with me." And the mom picked up the phone and she said, "Oh, James isn't here. When will he be back?" "Oh, he'll be back in about like 15 minutes." And it's like, okay, well that one's shocked. And then another of my friends picked up the phone. Oh, so the friend's uncle house that I was at, my parents really trusted this guy. He was a good guy. I did not tell him about the scheme.
Oh my god.
So my parents got a hold of him and he gave me up.
He knew all about it.
He didn't know where I was at, but he said he didn't know anything about it. And then they called one of my other friends, finally got a hold of him, and he said where we're at. And then
Your friend ratted you out.
ratted me out. And I did make maybe a couple phone calls to her on my parents' phone throughout the course of talking, because I couldn't do all calling cards. So they found her number on there, called her parents, and her parents gave her the friend's number.
That's some good detective
crap,
work.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, you made it that far. That's crazy far to make it.
Yeah.
To before your parents find it.
Yeah, you've been caught.
Yeah, been caught. But I mean, my bus ticket back wasn't until late the next day.
Wait, so did they like yell at you on the phone? Like, what was the?
They were calm about it. They said, "We're gonna talk about this when you come back." And they were
Okay.
like, "When do you come back?" And I said, "All right, my bus ticket is for tomorrow." And they said, "All right, we'll talk when you're back."
And it was.
Yeah.
You had only planned to stay there for a night.
Yeah. I was there for about probably not even 24 hours in total.
Okay.
But did you guys kiss?
Should I kiss and tell? I don't know. It's been over 30 years. Yeah.
Nice.
Chris
I don't
lost his
know.
virginity.
I'll remind you,
You
this
lost your
podcast is
Yeah.
known for being
You missed
super
it.
hot.
Chris lost his virginity.
Oh wow.
Oh God! All right, I'm sorry if she's listening to this now. I'm sorry, but while in the back seat of her car while she was on her period. But
That's a lot. That is a lot for a weekend.
Did we mention she's Latina? I don't know.
When you're already very nervous about everything else that's going on, just on top of all of
More
that.
variables. More
Yeah.
variables.
all this, yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a great time. I was incredibly nervous. I kept feeling like this isn't going as well as I hoped it would go.
Yeah.
Like, because I thought she was so cool, and there's a piece of me that was like, I'm such a nerd, and she's gonna figure this out once we're talking, and like she's gonna like me less. And then I kept being paranoid. Oh, this is happening. And she's realizing like I'm not good enough to be with her. Plus this parents thing like messed.
How
it
did
all
you
up.
get Behnam's inner monologues?
Big Behnam and I have a lot in
Wow.
common.
Yeah, we're just on the same wavelength. I mean, if I had aim back then,
This would have been
no,
you.
I would not have been that creative with my plan. That was like extremely.
Yeah, he goes
creative.
all the way to Greece. It's a little,
Yeah.
a little
Greece.
further.
And this, but
This
this was-
doesn't seal the deal.
Yeah, I know.
She made a lot of the moves. This was the helpful part about like someone older. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she just
Yeah.
kind of.
You may not have done that otherwise.
I probably would have not been courageous enough to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it was great experience. I'm glad I did it.
And was that it? Did you guys stop talking?
No. So came back and definitely got in trouble. I didn't get in as much trouble as I thought I would. My mom was really mad, but my dad was kind of like
Your dad was like,
a
hell
little
yeah,
bit,
bro.
like there's a little bit of that because he was a romantic too. When
Yeah.
he was growing up, so he
You were
kinda
like, yeah,
got
back
it.
in the car. He's like, yeah. Was she Latina? Yeah.
And we kept in touch, and but we couldn't really do anything because of the
Yeah.
distance or anything.
Yeah.
So we were friends for a long time,
Years.
years until I was about 19 to 20, and I started going out with I had a girlfriend that lived in the area, and she was really upset that I was still talking to her and still friends with her, this person that I had a connection with.
And it's 3-4 years you've
And it
not
was
seen this
4
person.
years, yeah.
Wow.
And she was convinced that like we were still like
Yeah.
love with each other, and was like, no, we're not, we're just friends now. And she gave me an ultimatum to stop talking to her, and I very stupidly went along with that. And then broke up with her a couple months later. And then
Yeah,
so
that
I
sounds like a pretty fucked up relationship. Maybe.
Yeah.
that's one of its own
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah, not the best relationship. So then I started talking to San Bernardino woman again, and she was kind of mad at me, and I said, okay, if I come down there and visit you,
Why was she mad at you?
because I had stopped
Stopped
talking to her
talking,
because
yeah,
of that.
that
And I
makes
was
sense,
like,
yeah.
that's messed up. I'll make it up. I'll come down there and we'll have like a nice time. And I thought, oh, this is just going to be a friendship thing
Yeah.
if I come down there. But
You lost your virginity again?
again.
2 times.
I was
Two.
I took it
Wow.
back, and then she took it again. Well, we had like a summer romance, so we saw each other
Oh.
like a few times during that summer.
Did you live
And,
down there? Started living down there?
No, I came down there. I think I visited maybe twice, and she came
Uh-huh.
up and she visited me twice. So
No need to scheme this time.
no need to skate.
Yeah.
We were
Nice.
all out in the open. She even met my parents when she
Aw,
came up.
that's
So
nice.
Wow.
yeah, it was a much more happy time. So we never got that when we were 16, but we
Yeah.
had that later in life. So
Yeah, yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of
Sweet.
nice that we.
But
we
it
got
ended
that.
at some point.
Yeah, it ended after that. Because then I think I got emotions towards her again. I was like, what if we like lived in the same place and she like lived together? And she was like, maybe not. Maybe it's a little too fast.
Yeah.
And
You know what? That was kind of a situationship, I guess, before the word
Before
arrived.
the term
word,
existed.
yeah.
You created it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
created
Max would be so confused about
Yeah.
everything that just happened.
What is going on?
Yeah.
But we're still friends now. We're still
Oh,
keep in touch. And
wow.
she's married. She has kids now and
Wow,
everything.
okay.
But we'll like send each other happy birthdays. We check in on each other every now and then.
So nice.
Can we get her to do a call in?
We brought her in today.
Yeah, man.
So I'm gonna tell her because I'll share this story sometimes, and then I'll like tell her like, hey, I shared her story, and she's like, oh god.
Oh no.
So she's gonna be very.
I want to hear her side of it.
I do too.
I think
do
it's a
too.
very sweet story. Like I don't see it.
We
as
won't
a-
have Behnam on that episode.
Okay.
We can't have Behnam that day.
I'll be like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
What shade of lipstick was it?
Well, she got very upset because there was a while where I was what was the thing we were calling Behnam?
Fuckboy.
Fuckboy. She was very. I was definitely one for quite a period of time, and she was very upset. She was like, "Oh no, I set you down this path." And I was like, "No, you don't have anything to do with this."
Your
Like
dad would have loved it.
Yeah.
I'd have been so proud.
You'd have been so into it.
Like you were telling your stories of your like fuckboy stories, and she was like, "Oh gosh."
no, of that story, the story I
Of
just
that
shared. Yeah.
I don't know if that is that a fuckboy story.
No,
No. Those are two separate things.
Yeah,
Those
Oh,
are
okay,
two
gotcha,
separate things
gotcha,
because
gotcha.
later in my life I was more.
Gotcha,
of a
gotcha.
fuckboy.
Yeah, and
He
then-
is a self-proclaimed, as of this show, fuckboy during
Yeah.
a period of his life.
Gotcha,
And-
gotcha.
Bet you have the evidence to back it up.
What
We
was
brought him
that?
in today.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, women. Thanks for-
So that is the ultimate lose your V card story.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Holy
Pretty good
crap.
The only thing fucked up about that is that there was fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I will
That's
one
actually kind of
day.
sweet. That's like a movie.
Well, the fucked up part was your friend ratting you out.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
fucked up part.
It's
Are you
even
still
got
friends
that
with him?
mean later girlfriend who gave the ultimatum. That's like that'd be the
That's,
villain
that's
of the
a little,
movie.
yeah,
maybe?
she's a little more of the villain. She's the antagonist. I guess my parents are antagonists in this story.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a John Hughes movie.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
You did have your own.
Yeah, yeah. The friend, I haven't talked to him in a long time. He was very funny. He was a couple years older. Definitely the funniest guy at the high school.
But
But I don't know what happened to him. He was.
we don't care about him.
Yeah.
I don't like
he
him.
ratted me out.
Yeah. I will one day share my V card story loss, but I think we're near the end.
We have We've got 6 minutes to the hour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much time that is if we play that and then comment on it, but we could also save it. I'm sure we have plenty of other things to
What
talk
do you guys
about.
want? Do you want my V card story or do you want this Scott's thing? Or did you have something else you wanted to share?
I mean, I would love to hear both, but we can't. There's
Yeah.
not enough time.
Yeah, this isn't like a 3-hour podcast. Kind of
It is
thing.
not. I don't know why we're so strict with time.
I want to hear your V card story.
Yeah,
Like
V
I
card
feel
story.
the Scott's thing is on this. I'll hear it in.
Yeah, and
when
I
listen
can-
to the
yeah, yeah.
podcast, But I want this live.
Let's be honest. We've all sat at the bar with Scott. We probably heard it already.
I mean, I was there for a large part of Scott's story. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you've known him for a long time.
But
now,
you said it
over
was just a
decade.
3-minute recording, so
That's
no
right.
way it could be that story.
Right,
If
right,
it was
right, right.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's no way it was the marriage story. But anyways, V card story then. So I was also 16.
Cool kids over here.
And I was in gym class changing it was one of those ones with a pin that holds the plates, and it was up here. There was like, I don't know, 30 pounds where the pin was holding the plate, but
This
it
is on
was
like one side of a barbell.
No, it's
no.
like one of those
So-
like pull downs.
yes, exactly. It's one of those
Oh, okay.
pull downs, right? And the plates are being lifted with
Yeah.
with the string.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably not a string, but that cable and the pin, something about it was stuck, and so I was like fucking with it, and I like pulled the pin. My other hand was down here on the rest of the plates, and all 30 pounds came straight down on my hand,
Oh my god.
and it landed on my fingernails. And
You consider that losing your virginity?
should have saw what I did with the fingers. Yeah.
This is the same fingers you got canceled with.
That's the story. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And then you put them in your mouth.
Is that not what you two did in the back of the car? I'm very confused. So I like yelling, and I remember like a cartoon running against the wall, like in pain and agony. Like I was just like did not know what to do. And the first person there to help me out was it was Rachel. I'll just say Rachel. It's no last name. And she was just she was this pretty girl that was in the class that I always thought was cute. And she was just really kind, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And like just tried to help me, and I was like holding back tears. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Was this like free time at high school gym class? Was there like a lesson going on?
It was
or
like a
anything?
gym class. Yeah, maybe PE class, and he's like, "Go to the we're like just go into the weight room."
Okay.
And you're just going to be in the weight room today. So there was, I don't know, like how many people in the class? 15, 20 kids.
That is not how my gym classes ever went.
And that's how it went. He's just like, "Let us
We never
loose."
had free time.
And oh man, gym class was the best. Anyways, Rachel was very kind, and then we connected, and then we just kept talking, and days and weeks passed, and then we started dating, and then the hand holding, and then the kissing, and then
Even with your mangled, broken
even with
hand.
my mangled broken hand, she's like, "Don't use that one." My fingernail, I think, came off. And so I think we're a couple months into dating, and I had also just interviewed for a job at Pizza Royale, which my brother's friend had worked at and got me a
Is this like a local chain?
local little pizza shop. And my brother's friend worked at the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you a job here. You can clean dishes and stuff."
Also Southern California.
Also right next to San Bernardino County,
Oh.
Is
Is
this like
Rancho Cucamonga?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Hey.
more like New York style? Are we talking like is this like a deep dish?
It's
Sort of?
Cucamonga style, baby.
Cucamonga style, a little deeper. It's a little deep,
Mm.
not too thin, but a little deep. And I was supposed to go to work this particular day after school. I get out at 3. I'm supposed to go into work at 4. But also, my parents aren't home, and Rachel just walked me home. We're both 16, and coming to the house. Oh, there's no adults around, and she was making moves, and I pull out my
Just
my
say
futon into bed position. Always the move. Sorry.
Venom just hit a button.
Yes.
For those who didn't hear that.
That's a euphemism.
it.
So, we start having sex, and then after not very long, few minutes, my and remember, this is my first time, and I don't know that it's hers because she seems like she knows what she's doing.
Oh, how do you feel about how much you know that what you're doing in this, guys?
So, what do you mean? Oh, like
Do you-
how would I rate myself?
Yeah, like do you feel like are you in your head at this point or?
Oh,
Nervous?
sure.
Nervous,
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah. Nervous, sweating.
Hand is
Yeah,
still
mangled
throbbing.
hand.
Yeah.
Just touching her with the other one.
I feel like having a fingernail-less finger might be kind of useful.
It could. Oh.
For what part? What are you imagining is being done with this finger?
I don't know. I'm a gay man. I don't know. I can't begin to describe what you all people do, but I don't know.
I just lift my hands and all of my nails are off. Yeah. These are great. And I take out my teeth. So, it's been a few minutes and there's a knock on my bedroom door. What does Edgar Allan Poe call it?
Telltale Heart.
The
No.
Nevermore.
Yeah.
There was a rapping at the chamber door.
A rapping at the chamber door. Thank you. And we're both naked, but she jumps off me and she's like, "Where do I go?" I was like, "Hide behind the door."
Nobody's finished.
Nobody has finished.
Oh, few minutes that's fucking impressive.
I know.
Yeah.
I can still do a few minutes. So she's behind the door, completely nude. I pull the sheets over me, and then my dad slowly opens the door with the door creak and everything. And he's looking in. He's like, "Dylan?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't you have work? Isn't it your first day of work?" I was like, "Yeah, they never called to confirm. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll figure it out."
And this really is my first day of work.
Yeah. Yeah, then I hit a gong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The
Touching
equivalent of a
touching pepperonis either way. Am I right?
Oh.
Once again, I don't know how it works. So
nipple
Same.
reference?
it's however you interpret it.
Gotta say, you nailed it.
So, he's like, "I think you're supposed to be at work." And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like this, the covers. And it's dark and it's really weird that I'm just laying there. Like he knows something's up.
Yeah.
And then I see like the Three Stooges, my sister's head come out beneath his head like
Oh
this.
no!
Like underneath, right? Underneath. And her head's sideways. And I'm like, "Hey."
So Rachel is visible or not visible?
Rachel
in
is
this scene?
behind the door naked. I can see
Oh
my
God.
dad, my sister, and then Rachel.
Did she have anything to cover herself?
She's not covered.
Could you see them in like at the if you tilt your head right? Could you see them at the same time?
All three of them were completely within view of one another.
God.
Yeah, so it was a total, yeah. And I'd call that a confused boner. And my sister's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," and like this is weird. They know something's up. And then I see Rachel look at me, and then like look at them but through the door, and then I see her slowly start to move her head to see what's going on. And I'm going like, don't do it. And her head peeks out from behind the door like this. And she's completely like eye locked with my dad. And my dad goes, and then she pulls back and I'm like, and my dad goes, "Okay, son. No worries." And then he closes the door.
Honestly,
Did your sister see?
I don't know because it was like a dad's eye level.
honestly, can I just say the dads in both these stories, homies.
Great dads.
The only
Yes.
problem is like when you gave him the rock, it like messed up your hand even more.
Yeah. I lost 3 more nails that day. He just went, "Okay, son."
Yeah.
Close the door.
Well, were you late for work or not?
I was like, "Well, obviously we can't finish." And then
Oh.
Rachel puts on her clothes, and then we do the walk of shame out the hallway through the living room through to the front door, and she's like, "Hey, Johnny," and he's like, "Hey, Rachel," and then
Wait, she calls your dad
I
by
don't
his
know.
first
I don't
name?
know. I don't know. Maybe
Wow, your boner must be even more confused.
it was so confused, and I was at work just washing dishes the rest of the night.
Wow.
And so I didn't finish. Does that mean I lost it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I lost
Yeah.
it. Okay.
To everybody to define it for themselves.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I did.
I think that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Did you guys keep on dating?
No.
They're
It
still
got
together.
it got
We brought her.
it got
Rachel.
tumultuous. Like I don't like. It ended up being like we like didn't like each other. I don't know. Something happened where it like we ended up like not liking each other. And so it was like a few months, and we had mutual friends. And they're like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I'm not actually sure." And then I started dating someone else, and she also had a weird virginity loss story, and so we both have since considered each other's first as a token of our love for each other. And I'm still friends with that person.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's mine.
Oh wow, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
could be that's not a whole movie. I don't think that was a
No.
whole movie.
No,
'Cause
no,
you got a
no.
whole movie. That's like a scene.
Mine's
in
a
movie.
scene in your movie.
Yeah, it's like a
You're the
simultaneous
friend
like
who
cut
pretended to be
to.
the uncle. That's how he gets.
Oh,
that's
Yeah,
how he
this
gets.
is
yeah.
Oh, I think we need to,
I'm the uncle.
combine this, and like it's like an American Pie style. We both lose our virginity at the same time.
Yeah. We're like, oh, the whole time, and like we shave our pubes.
Venom's in the bushes.
Yeah.
Looking in with binoculars.
I'm crying over the letters that were written.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm in the bushes trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, John's like, I'm writing this down.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Well, what do you think, John?
I think that's about it. We're at an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So close to making that hour, but no
Wow.
cigar.
Got to cut off that 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you guys want to plug that's coming up? It's likely that this will be
Yeah.
TBD at a random date.
Yeah.
But I
Anything
know
you're
some
in?
puppet shows.
Yeah, we have Dylan and I do puppet improv, and we perform the fourth Friday of every month at All Out Comedy. So you can just Google All Out Comedy and find the tickets and dates.
And there, if you're in the East Bay, here it's very funny.
It's very fun. Also follow Industrial Kitchen Improv. John and I are on it, and I'll plug Forever Improv as well because I think it's a great show. It happens every other Friday. So, yeah.
And we will see you there.
We will see you there.
We will
Yes,
see you
I will
there.
see you there.
Check out Color Circuit, my other YouTube channel, and your Fucked Up Relationship every Friday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. at Endgames Improv in the Mission District. Anything else?
Yeah.
Podcast shows.
Doing a streaming service that I'm getting restarted. We're about to start producing some shows again. So if you're a writer or a producer and you want to get involved, or you want to get involved in some other way too, we are Sideshow. That's side like D-side, sideshow.com.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on.
Thank you for
This has
having
been-
us.
The Your Fucked Up Relationship podcast. All those relationships, very sweet stories. Nothing
Yeah.
fucked up
So
about
sweet.
it.
So sweet.
Um,
So
You,
sweet.
you just
Yeah,
have
very
such
lovely.
a sweet energy. I feel
Yeah,
like
this is
it's
great.
appropriate.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's
We varied pretty far on the spectrum from not fucked up to fucked up.
Yeah.
This
on
is
the
true.
show thus
We're all
far.
over the place, and
Well,
that's okay.
when I come back from my 2-timer club, I can give. So it's not going to paint me in a good light.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Have a good day or night.